this afternoon of the person police say they're looking for in connection with a deadly shooting of a 16-year-old boy in Delaware County. Police say the two got into an argument yesterday afternoon and the suspect shot the victim in the back. NBC 10's Miguel Martinez-Valle is live near the scene in Upper Darby with new details this afternoon. Miguel?
Yeah, and officials say that shooting had happened after an argument with another young person here on the corner of Long Lane and Pine Street. Now, officials, they're hoping that surveillance video from the area will help lead to an arrest of the suspect who fired the gun. A teen dead, another young person on the run following a Sunday shooting in Upper Darby. Police say the shooting happened before 3 p.m. near Pine Street and Long Lane. Neighbors hung flowers on a bus sign near the shooting site. Home surveillance video captured what sounds like an argument leading up to a gunshot off camera. You then see a person running and hear them say someone needs help. You also hear another voice yelling for help.
We heard 3 gunshots in consecutive, 1, 2, 3. And then in seconds after that, we heard the boy yelling, help, help, help.
Hope Cook was one of the neighbors that rushed to the injured teen who had been shot in the back.
I knelt down beside the boy and was holding his shoulder and his arm and telling him it was going to be okay, but it was really bad.
The Upper Darby School District student died shortly after. Officials released these images of the suspect they're looking for in connection with the shooting. You see a person wearing a hoodie with a satchel and a phone in hand. The person in this video appears to be the same person running in the first home surveillance video we showed. Officials hoping someone recognizes the person and helps turn them in.
I was born here and never, ever, I never heard someone die like that. And it's really scary because we have kids playing in our garden.
Yeah.
And it's really shocking. It's very sad.
And this is the second Upper Darby School District student to die from gun violence this year. We do know that the school district, they had resources available at schools around the district today for students and staff that are grieving from this tragic loss. I'll send it back to you. I'm Miguel Martinez-Valle, NBC 10 News.
Tonight, a teenager arrested in the deadly shooting of a 16-year-old in Upper Darby. The victim identified as Khalif Webster, a sophomore at Upper Darby High School. And Kelly, the suspect, 17 years old, is being charged as an adult. What else did you learn about this case today and how it escalated so quickly?
Well, Sheba, court documents did reveal some new details about the moments before and after 16-year-old Khalif Webster was killed and what the alleged shooter, 17-year-old Michael Nixon, might have said beforehand. Police would not release any details today about motive or whether or not the pair knew each other, but they did reinforce again that this was preventable.
We're here today talking about a tragedy that should have never happened.
Upper Darby Township Police identifying 17-year-old Michael Nixon as the person they say is responsible for shooting and killing 16-year-old Khalif Webster, a short walk from his home on Sunday afternoon.
2 families have been shattered. And Khalif Webster, like I said, will never get to enjoy life. Will never get to go to college, will never have a family, will never be able to do all the things that he should have been able to do if it wasn't for the cowardly act of Michael Nixon.
Court documents reveal just before 3 p.m., Webster was riding a miniature dirt bike down Pine Street to Long Lane when surveillance video captured a person saying, quote, "You that young bull I seen the other day? You better not be." Documents say he said something muffled, then there's a gunshot. The video shows the shooter, police identified as Nixon, putting what is believed to be a firearm in his waistband and then calling someone on his phone saying, quote, "I just shoot somebody in their chest, bro." Within hours of the homicide, investigators say they identified Nixon as a suspect, capturing him on numerous residential and business cameras. And on Tuesday, police executed 2 search warrants. One on Oxford Street. The chaos captured in this video provided to Fox 29, where a family member was taken into custody for questioning, police say. And another on North State Road, where another family member was taken into custody. Documents say that woman told police Nixon called her after the shooting and she picked him up, and Nixon admitted to her that he shot someone that he had an argument with a day or 2 prior. Police say Nixon turned himself in alone at police headquarters Tuesday night.
We got to figure out another way to resolve conflict. Guns are not the answer, and it's just senseless. It breaks my heart.
Mayor Ed Brown and police say they sat down with Webster's devastated family, who were not ready to comment about the arrest today.
You know, they spent considerable time telling me how special he was, and he wasn't a troublemaker or not a bad kid at all. He had a bright future.
Their child went out to play like every child should, and he didn't come home.
Now, documents say detectives found fired cartridge casings and 2 handgun frames in the home that Nixon lived in. Police say the investigation is active and ongoing, and more charges could come for those responsible for keeping hidden Nixon in the days leading to his arrest. He is being held in a detention center without bond. Jason.
We're wearing their body cameras, and so that footage will be reviewed.
Now at 10, one man has died after an officer-involved shooting. 2 Philadelphia police officers have been placed on administrative duty pending the outcome of an investigation. Wednesday night, I'm Shari Williams. Gray has the night off. The big story on Action News tonight is breaking news at this hour in the city's Fairhill neighborhood. A man was shot and killed by officers after a scuffle, according to police. Authorities say 2 officers tried to stop a pedestrian along Mutter and Somerset Streets around 6:30 this evening, when then a tussle began. Authorities say that's when the male suspect reached for a gun in his bag, which did discharge. That's when both officers fired their weapons, striking this person in the stomach. Action News reporter Brianna Gallagher just received an update from investigators. She joins us now live at police headquarters with the latest. Brianna.
Yeah, Shari, we just spoke with police not too long ago. They say a scuffle began, the male's weapon discharged, and then officers, they took out their weapons.
Master in Somerset. Shots fired.
Shell casings and a large police presence on scene in the Fairhill neighborhood after a deadly police-involved shooting. According to Philadelphia police, just after 6:30, 25th District officers attempted to conduct a pedestrian investigation at Mutter and Somerset. After they approached him, police say a scuffle broke out between the officers and the male on the street.
The male produced a handgun from a bag that he was carrying on his person. At some point during that struggle, when that male produces that handgun, the weapon discharges, at which point our officers discharged their weapon, striking the male in the torso area.
The male was rushed to Temple Hospital, where he was pronounced just before 7 o'clock tonight. Why the officers conducted a pedestrian stop is still under investigation.
The investigation is still very early in the stages. We have a lot to go through. The officers were wearing their body cameras, and so that footage will be reviewed. As a part of the investigation.
As officials canvass the area for evidence, it's also unclear exactly how many shots were fired.
It's 25th District officers. I mean, we always use the terminology routine, but no day in policing is routine. These officers, they're charged with coming out here and again, keeping the city safe, and a part of that takes them into situations, unfortunately, like this that occur. But, that's what they're out here to do each and every day.
Now we're being told that those officers still need to be questioned. Police said that they're still looking for witnesses in the area and any other cameras that may have captured the incident unfold. Officers did recover a weapon at the scene, and the bag of the man had that gun in. Those 2 officers are placed on administrative leave. We're live outside of Philadelphia Police Headquarters. Brianna Gallagher for Action News.
Scene at a corner store where police sources tell us a 15-year-old is dead and another 16-year-old is in critical condition after a shootout in, of all places, a corner store in Powelton. Sources telling us a customer inside the store opened fire, telling police that he thought the teens were about to rob him. Our Steve Keeley has more.
A lot of stuff all the time been happening in all the stores, so we don't think that we've been endangered.
Inside her store named after her, Marilyn Rodriguez's Maryland Grocery, was the scene where Philadelphia police sources tell me an armed 15-year-old was shot and killed, and an armed 16-year-old was shot in the face. They say they see on surveillance by a 22-year-old man, also armed, but legally, with a permit to carry a concealed weapon. Police sources tell me he stayed on scene at the store and is cooperating with homicide detectives at headquarters tonight, telling them he felt the 2 armed teenagers were about to rob the store and him at 2:15 this afternoon. And so he fired. The store had other customers and 3 workers inside at the time when the shooting happened. Marilyn showed me her surveillance cameras that captured what happened right in front of the checkout counter. Police are repeatedly watching the video, sources say, to see how it all occurred.
That's so sad, because, this thing was supposed to happen. I don't know why the people do that, so they don't take care of each other, so, because we think that everybody is like us. You know, we love everybody. So, but sometimes the people don't think on that, especially the younger one.
You told me earlier that, a kid was in there that you spoke to. So
Yes, I spoke to a girl. She told me that she was in the store when this happened. She had to literally run over a body.
The young kids these days are everyone's just wilding out. We need a lot more guidance in the neighborhood. Community needs to, unite.
Philadelphia police sources tell me this gun with an extended magazine able to hold dozens of bullets was put under this black Nissan across the street by witnesses, taken out of the store by them to keep it from being fired, sources tell me, saying this is the gun that the 15-year-old killed in the store was holding. The crime scene unit eventually picked it up to keep among the evidence, one of 3 guns. A second found in the store was the 16-year-old, sources say, and the third gun held by the only one with a legal permit to carry one, who fired in self-defense, he's telling detectives tonight.
The store owner, the children just getting out of school, just thinking you're safe going to a store, and for something like this to happen, and in these times, my heart goes to everyone that's actually going through this. Even our community needs help, obviously.
In West Philadelphia, Steve Keeley, Fox 29 News.
Is dead. 12-year-old child is dead after being shot in the head in West Philadelphia. Action News reporter Leland Pinder is live on the scene along the 800 block of Brooklyn Street with more. Leland.
Rick, a 12-year-old boy, as you said, is dead tonight, and his relative, also a
12-year-old child is dead after being shot in the head in West Philadelphia. Action News reporter Leland Pinder is live on the scene along the 800 block of Brooklyn Street with more.
West Philadelphia again.
Rick, a 12-year-old boy, as you said, is dead tonight, and his relative, also a juvenile, is in police custody in connection with his death after what police say was a tragic accidental shooting about 9:30 tonight. Take a look at the scene right now here in the 800 block of Brooklyn in West Philadelphia. Police are waiting to get in the home to conduct their investigation and process the scene. There are some processes playing out right now that allow them to get in the home and do that. But take a look at this video from earlier tonight when police were called here about 9:30. They ran up to a third-floor bedroom, we're told, and they saw the boy in bed. He'd been shot in either the head or the neck area. There was blood. He was taken by police out of the home to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, where unfortunately he died tonight. Now, police say a relative who also lives in the home, also a juvenile, is the shooter. He is cooperative, police say, as is the whole family, and he's in police custody. Now, police say at the time of this shooting, the child's mother was in the home along with other children, 6 people in all, but it's not known where in the house mom was or what exactly preceded this shooting incident. That's still under investigation.
Right now, we're going to try to determine why this gun was in the house and who the gun belonged to, but we're not touching the gun because it's going to be processed as part of the crime scene by our crime scene unit and homicide detectives.
So that's the big question right now. Where did the gun come from? How did the children access it? What were they doing with it? All important questions police will be seeking to answer. They do plan to be on the scene here for a few more hours. Again, as you see, they are waiting to get inside the home and again, just get to the bottom of what happened here and why. But that is the latest tonight. A tragedy here in West Philadelphia. 12-year-old boy shot and killed. Another relative, a juvenile, in custody in connection with his death. Live here in West Philadelphia, Leland Pinder.
Justin Smith was arrested in Atlanta after 4 years of being on the run. Josh Sanders was in the courtroom and spoke exclusively with Deanna's family.
Well, it's been 4 years. Justice will be served.
Betty Cellini's family has been waiting for this day for a long time. Finally getting the chance to look into the eyes of the man accused of killing her 21-year-old daughter, Deanna Bryce, and her unborn baby back in 2021.
She was my rock. She took everything she knew about me to her grave. I can never replace her. Tried. Just can't.
Before the judge, Justin Smith waived his rights to a preliminary hearing.
There was multiple people going to testify against him, and then his attorney, which is a court-appointed lawyer, said that it would be in his best interest to waive the preliminary.
Smith waives the rights for his defense to preview evidence against him, and there will be no public testimony or early witness examination. It is not an admission of guilt.
He's guilty as charged. I mean, 2 lives are taken from my family, so they can't come back to us in no way, shape, or how, except for in memories.
The now 27-year-old Smith was arrested in March in Atlanta.
It was like a huge weight off the family's shoulders.
Bryce was reported missing on March 30th, 2021 in Upper Darby. She was last seen getting in a Smith's Ford Fusion. The car, later found that day, burned in southwest Philadelphia. That April, Bryce's body was discovered in a wooded area on Eastwick Avenue with multiple gunshot wounds.
She left behind her 8-year-old
So
son.
we live through him.
So we
truthfully.
live for
His
him.
personality is truly, the resemblance and some of the behaviors, everything it kicks out of him, and it always gives us that reassurance that Deanna is still with us.
Can't nobody hurt my baby no more. While her family says the pain of losing her will always be there, their faith remains strong.
We just want to keep faith and we'll get the results that we're looking for.
As of now, Smith is scheduled to be back in court June 4th. Josh Sanders, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Stayed in charge with the murder of his girlfriend. The victim you see right here, just 25 years old. Cheyenne, this appears to be another horrific case of domestic violence.
Unfortunately, yes, Jason. I'm actually standing in the neighborhood where Alyssa lives. She was found on the sidewalk just a few yards away. Today I spoke with her sister, who understandably so is not ready to address the public, but she did share with us that Alyssa was a vibrant person and she will be very missed. It's a normally quiet West Conshohocken neighborhood, but neighbors say on Sunday morning, the sound of screams rang through the 200 block of Moorhead Avenue. Montgomery County District Attorney's Office says it was 25-year-old Alyssa Rose Wiest running out of her home after being shot multiple times. Officers administered first aid before she died at Lincoln Hospital. Her boyfriend, 26-year-old Michael Dutkiewicz from Warminster, turned himself into police yesterday and is charged with her murder. In a statement, Alyssa's family wrote, "Her bright spirit, boundless kindness, and the incredible promise she held for her future made her a beacon of hope and joy for all who knew her. Her future was full of endless possibilities, and her tragic loss leaves a void that is impossible to fill." As seen on Alyssa's LinkedIn page, she was a University of Delaware graduate and microbiologist. The DA's office says just before 12:30 a.m., officers responded after a neighbor heard gunshots. Police found Alyssa on the sidewalk with gunshot wounds to her torso. She was only a few doors down from her home, and a trail of blood followed her from inside. Detectives say Dutkiewicz wasn't registered as a gun owner, but Alyssa bought a firearm in 2020, which could be the revolver used. A suitcase with men's clothing believed to be Dutkiewicz's also was found outside of the home. Detectives believe Alyssa and Michael were in a relationship for 2 years, and he often stayed at her home. Neighbors reported seeing him right after the shooting, standing by his truck that shortly after left the scene. His mother contacted police Sunday, saying her son was in shock and wants to turn himself in. He is now being charged with first and third-degree murder, as well as possessing an instrument of crime. And Dutkiewicz, he currently is being held without bond. He also is expected in court next Tuesday. Alyssa's family says right now they are finding solace in the memories. I'm in West Conshohocken. I'm Cheyenne Karen, Fox 29 News.
Details of the case. I don't know the details of the case. You really just want to talk with your attorney?
The man accused of abusing a 4-year-old boy, a boy who died, broke down as he was charged with murder. Ellis Nelson Ortiz Nieves is now being held in the Kent County Jail without bond.
24-Hour News 8's Barton Dieters is back from court with the details tonight. Barton?
Giovanni Mejias allegedly died at the hands of his mother's boyfriend from blunt force trauma to his abdomen. The medical examiner ruled it wasn't an accident. The suspect has been a father since the age of 15, and this is not the first accusation of abuse against him.
So the first count is called felony murder, life without parole.
The 25-year-old suspect broke down when the charges against him were outlined by a judge today.
They're alleging you murdered one Giovanni Miajes. It is called felony murder. It is a felony.
His adult record includes drugs and gun charges, but he has a juvenile record that goes back 13 years before he even became a teenager. He also has charges of car theft, shoplifting, assault with a weapon, receiving and concealing stolen goods. He was a father at 16 in 2009, where court records show he pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge involving domestic violence. He was also accused of assaulting an infant boy, but that charge was dismissed as part of a plea agreement that sent him to the Muskegon River Youth Home for 3 months. At the mobile home near Kentwood where Giovanni died, there were numerous stops by Kent County investigators and CPS over the past 4 years. Yesterday, the father of Giovanni's half-siblings told us he had contacted authorities. Who did you call?
I've called the cops. Have been involved. CPS multiple times have been involved. The school was involved.
But nothing rose to the level where courts would step in and remove the children. Now, while the easy answer is to point the finger at CPS, often the people reporting were unwilling to substantiate their claims. Some say they feared there were gang ties to the home, namely the Latin Kings. Others making reports had their own history with police, making them hesitant to be involved. The end result is Giovanni Macias remained at that home until his death 6 months shy of his 5th birthday. Back to you.
A rapper who was passionate about spreading love to other young people in the city taken too soon. 30-year-old Quadir Johnson, also known as rapper LGP Qua, shot and killed on Mother's Day, and police are still searching for his killers. Philadelphia police say that the rapper was in the area of M Street in Juniata Park when the suspects robbed him. They shot the rapper and then took off in a black Nissan Altima driven by a third person. Tonight, his mother has a message for the suspects.
Turn yourselves in. Our Shawnette Wilson sat down with her, and Shawnette, she wants to carry on her son's legacy.
She does. She has a message for the shooters, of course, but also to the young people in the city who looked up to and supported her son. And tonight I also talked to his 2 young children, a daughter and son, now left without a father.
I'm still trying to process this.
It's been almost a week and a half since Tamara Davis's son was taken from her, and on the day she should have been celebrating being a mom. Davis says her only child left her house and never came back.
I'm dealing with the best I can because I'm still waiting to see my son walk up the street. They gave him for Mother's Day.
This Thursday, reality will begin to set in when she'll be allowed to view her son's body for the first time.
As a mother, it's hard, and I spoke to God, I gotta let him go. And I'm fighting with it.
Her 30-year-old son, Quadir Johnson, is known to Philly and around the world as LGP Qua. A rapper, yes. Time to stop the hate. But even deeper than that, he was a poet, a storyteller, known widely as the voice of the youth.
My son was light. I knew he was gifted.
Qua rapped powerfully about the challenges and disparities of the city and its young people.
From the city, brotherly love.
Yesterday, police released this surveillance video of 2 suspects who they say were wearing masks when they shot Qua in an apparent robbery. It happened on the 3900 block of M Street in Juniata Park just before 5 o'clock that Sunday evening. Police say the 2 got away in a black Nissan Altima driven by another person. That car has since been found by police.
Taking my son. They messed up. They messed up.
Davis sat alongside Qua's 2 young children.
I miss him. Miss that he was this funny.
That was me. Keisha Washington is urging the suspects to turn themselves in.
You running and trying to hide, and it's not worth it. Y'all took somebody special. Nobody deserves to die, from gun violence.
And Davis has this to say to the youth who looked up to and supported her son.
You don't have to be amongst the followers. Be a leader. And I knew my son. That's who he was.
And the family says a public viewing will take place on Friday, followed by a celebration of love to happen on Saturday morning. You can find locations and times, Jason, on our website, fox29.com.